Welcome to another week of Wednesday Fun. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube Live. We're glad that you're here, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching later. We're glad that you've joined us. We're going to be using the little goodie bags that you got this week, so make sure you have those handy if you got one. If you did not get a goodie bag and you want one, make sure you let us know. You can comment below, or you can reach out to us on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram. So just reach out to us. Let us know if you or someone you know might want to be added to the list of people that get a goodie bag. We can add you to our list. And of course, make sure you also like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Anchor Ministries, and like I mentioned before, you can follow us on Instagram, and then go ahead and ring the bell on this video, and then you'll be notified of future content that we post. So we post things every week, little devotionals or other things, so make sure you check that stuff out. We also have Pabwemu and Lulu here modeling some lovely knitted hats for us. So Miss Mara is making some hats for everyone. So if you are interested in a knitted hat, you can let us know, and you can pick your color if you have a preferred color. And I know it probably doesn't feel like you need a knit hat right now, but you probably will in a few months when it gets cold again. So just keep that in mind and let us know if you are interested in a knitted hat, if you would like one. And then I'm going to open us up for prayer, and then we're going to get started. Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you so much for this time that we can have together, and just thank you for the beautiful weather outside, and just for sunshine and blue skies, Lord, and just thank you for how you help us grow in you, and we'll learn more about that tonight, and how the plants grow and how we can grow in you, Lord. So I just pray that you would bless our time together tonight. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Great. Hello, and we're so glad that you're here. We thought it would be fun to do another episode of Would You Rather Wednesday. So I will read you a statement, and you can say if you would rather this or that. So, would you rather hold a snake or kiss a jellyfish?
Hold a snake. Hold a snake.
Hold a
Yeah,
snake.
sure.
Okay.
Kiss
Mixed
a
review from the studio
Why did the
audience here.
jellyfish sting you?
Anyone want to say why?
You wouldn't kiss the stinger.
Oh, that's a good point. I
The
changed my vote.
jellyfish will not
Yeah,
sting
but they're
you.
squishy.
Is what I'm
If
told.
the jellyfish just
Just
stays
slides
in.
on.
Jellyfish are cute.
Oh, yeah.
They're so cute.
You guys can
Not
probably
cute
hear
on
it's a
water.
mixed review from the studio audience. Okay, here's another one. Would you rather always have a booger that moves in and out
Oh my god, I
The
hate
other
that.
one, the other one, the other one.
of your nose, or would you rather have a piece of food stuck in between your two front teeth? So
Oh,
booger that
right.
goes in and out permanently.
I can close my
Yes,
mouth.
permanently, or food stuck in between your teeth.
I can just color it.
Teeth. You can close your teeth.
Teeth.
I can put some grills.
You can put some grills on your teeth to cover the food. Okay. Sounds like teeth is
Problem
the
solved.
winner.
I like it.
One more for you. Would you rather be invisible or be able to fly?
Fly.
Fly.
Sure.
Invisible?
Yeah.
Mixed
So
review.
cute.
I think I would rather be able to fly. That would be
I'd
pretty
rather be
sweet.
I wouldn't need a car. I wouldn't need
I hope you're having some good discussions wherever you're at. I now would like to do a little game. If I could have like 2 volunteers come up, baby, come on up. Or we could have 3 too.
Well, you're fine.
And this is something that you guys could do at home, but it's also fun to watch if you don't do it too. I will give the ladies a little cookie pretzel thing, and their mission, if they choose to accept it, which they will, is to put it on their forehead and try to wiggle it down into their mouth without using their hands. That make sense?
Yeah.
That sound good? My hands are clean, so. And we will give them 45 seconds to do that.
Ready?
And I get 45 seconds on the clock.
Yep.
If you drop it, just
It's not
grab
moving.
it. On your marks. Get set.
Or sit down.
Go.
Yeah, move your head.
Oh.
You got it.
Okay.
Oh!
And if Good job.
Oh, Pops, you're doing great. Look at that.
No, you can grab it.
Oh, Pops, you got it. Use your tongue.
That was 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Wow.
See if anyone can beat that record at home. You could use anything, a
That's
cookie, a
unbelievable.
cracker. I've
I
actually
won.
never seen 10 seconds before. That was
So
pretty
watch
impressive.
that.
Now we are going to have a word from our lovely Miss Ann.
No.
Oh, I'm just kidding. We're going to have a word from our lovely Miss Emily. And why don't you go ahead and grab your bags and we'll start to pull out the materials for it. Come on up, Miss Emily. Thank you. Okay. So, do I have any of our visitors today who want to do this along with me? I have two.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys should have. Oh, I need one more thing. Sorry. You guys should have gotten in your bag, obviously some treats like some candy, but you should have a bag of, this is soil or dirt, and then this little planter, which is biodegradable, meaning that if something grows out of it and you want to just plant it right in the dirt, you can do that. And then a little packet of seeds or a bag of seeds. I have sugar snap peas, but you guys all got flowers. So you should have some flower seeds. So what we're gonna do today is show you how to plant some seeds, and hopefully you can watch what you plant grow throughout the summer. So what you wanna do is you can either like take a cup, kind of like a small cup if you have one of these at home, or just pour whatever is in your little Ziploc bag into the little planter. So we have a little cup, so we'll do that. So just pour it right in. There are holes at the bottom of the planter, but it'll kind of like stop. It won't go through once you fill it. So you should have that full. And then you can we're just gonna take one seed because these are pretty big seeds. I don't know if you can see them, but these are pea seeds. But some of your flower seeds might be pretty small, so you can actually take like a few of them if you want. You can use more than one. And what you want to do is you don't even really need to like dig a really deep hole, but maybe just use your finger to make like a little spot where you can place the seed, and then just fully cover it with the dirt again. So now we can't see the seed at all. So then you planted your seed. Planting seeds is pretty easy. Making them grow can be a little bit hard, but the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you're watering your little planter on a regular basis. It doesn't necessarily have to be every day. You don't want to put too much water in, otherwise you might drown the seed and then it won't grow. But if your soil starts to look a little dry, that's when you want to make sure to water it. So we're just going to make sure we water. And you might, if you're at home, sometimes this can leak water out underneath. So you might want to put like, a piece of paper underneath, or a napkin, or a plate, plastic plate, paper plate, just in case it leaks. But we're just going to put a little water on ours. And then that's it. That's how you plant. So you should start, seeing some little green sprouts grow, and eventually, hopefully, you'll see the flower that's on your packet. And if you want, if like your family has a garden at home, you could, once the plants start to grow, the green sprouts start to grow a little taller, you can plant it in your garden, at your house, or if you have like a bigger planter, kind of like this thing here, this planter, you can put it in that. And if you do start to see a plant grow, we'd love to see pictures of it. We have, as Ms. Shea mentioned, we have an Instagram for Anchored, so you can tag us so we can see your plant, or you can send us a picture and we'll post it on our Instagram. So we'd love to see your little flowers that grow.
And maybe by the end of the summer or into the fall, you guys will have some really pretty flowers. So that is all I have. So enjoy your flowers, and we're going to hand it off to Miss Ann for a little lesson today.
Will you just announce to the people who don't have a Dixie cup?
Oh, yes. Some of you may not have gotten one of these planters, but you got like a small Dixie cup. Same thing. You just put the dirt in the Dixie cup. So we just kind of ran out of these, so we had to make do. But you can always replant it into a prettier little pot if you want to.
Thanks, ladies. Oh, it's like that little gardening tutorial. This is so fantastic. So if you're tuning in a little bit late, you might have caught on that we have a theme tonight. So our theme is growing. Like we have plants here. You get to grow your own plant at home. Now we're not just talking about growing like in our height, like some of us, like myself, are done growing with our height. Some of you are still growing. You're going to be way taller than me probably by the time I next see you. But we're talking about growing in all areas of our lives. So you can grow in our bodies, right? But we can actually grow in our heart, like in our spirit. So there is this part of who you are that makes your personality who you are, that makes your mind who it is, that makes the part of you that will live forever. That part of you can grow, or it can stay a little baby forever. And that's not what we want. So as we talk about growth, there's ways that we can grow. And Jesus talks about that in the Bible. So I wanted to share with you a Bible verse. In John chapter 15, Jesus uses the example of a plant. He talks about a vine and a branch, which in where Jesus was living at the time, vines, like you would see vines growing down trees and they'd be growing like grapes or olives. We don't have vines here in our sweet room at Life Point Church, but we have potted plants. So the analogy that we might use here is a plant and its soil. So Jesus says that I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. Remain in me as I remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Now, if you look closely at the plants that we have here today, do you spy anything that does not look alive in these spots right here? So here is a lovely basil plant, which it smells so good. And here are some lovely succulents that are growing so beautifully. And here, sticking out to the side, is something that does not quite look alive, does it? It's a stick. So in fact, it's not even attached to anything. It's just stuck in there. Now the difference between the basil, and we're not going to pull too hard because I don't want to break the plant, but it is stuck in there, whereas this popped right out. The difference between this stick and this plant is that the plant has remained in the soil. The plant has been grown deep down in, it's made roots in the soil, and it's getting its nutrients, like the vitamins that it needs, or the water that it needs. All of that is coming up from the soil. That is, it's remaining in. And this stick, I actually found on the ground and stuck it in here. But this stick did not remain in the soil, and it was just falling on the ground. And that's why the stick, which used to be part of a plant, died. It did not grow, and it will not grow any beautiful basil or anything because it did not remain in the soil. Now, you might have seen a vine and a branch before, like Jesus uses it in his example, or maybe you've seen, like we gave you in your bags, soil and seeds in a plant. It's really important for us to remember that if we want to grow, like in our love, we want to grow in our joy, we want to grow peace, all of those fruit of the Spirit that we've talked about before, it's important that we remain in Jesus. And the way we remain in him is by thinking about him, by talking to him every day, by listening when he talks to us, by reading the Bible, and by listening to worship music, once COVID is over by going to church and being with other people who remain in Jesus. All of these ways that we can stay connected to God will help us grow. If we don't stay connected to God, we start to experience what I call grumpiness. Have you ever had a grumpy day? Let's ask our studio audience. Have you ever had a grumpy day?
Yes.
And
Yes.
have any of you had a grumpy day today?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, some of our people here have had a grumpy day. You can put in the comments if you've had a grumpy day lately. When I have a grumpy day, that is a reminder to me that I have stepped away from the source of my life, which is Jesus. I'm not remaining in Jesus and doing life on my own. And when that's the case, I'm like this grumpy old stick. But when I remain in Jesus and I rely on Jesus, and like if I'm going to be doing something that's scary, I remain in Jesus. I talk to Jesus about it. If I'm going to be going and talking to somebody that I don't really like, I could be grumpy about it, or I could remain in Jesus and let Jesus be the reason that I have joy when talking to that person. Maybe I need to do something that I really don't want to do, or I need to go somewhere that I really don't want to go, or I need to not do something that I want to do. All of those examples, we can either do it on our own and end up like a stick that just is fragile and breakable, or we can remain in Jesus and he will grow us to have strength, to have joy, to have peace, to have hope. I know that a lot of you watching have been home because of COVID, right? Like, in fact, you're probably watching this because you are home because of COVID. We are doing Anchored Wednesday Fun online because of COVID. And this season of not being able to do life as usual has really forced me to remain in Jesus because he is the one that I've needed to get through each day. And he is the one that you need to get through each day. So I want to encourage, I'll wrap up my time and we're going to wrap up our time together, I guess. But I want to encourage you today to be thinking about ways that you can stay connected to Jesus. Maybe you want to get a new Bible. Like if you don't have a Bible, you can just send us a message and we'll bring you a Bible. Maybe you want to listen to some good music. In fact, we can post some worship music on this channel so you can listen to worship music. Maybe you want to talk to a friend and be encouraged and talk about Jesus that way. We are always here. If you want to message us on Instagram, Facebook, this YouTube channel, you can find us. We want to stay remaining in Jesus together. So I'm going to ask Mr. Andrew to come up and he's going to close up our time together by praying.
Yes. I'm on YouTube. Please stop talking to me. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this time that we could kind of meet together, but just still be encouraged by you. And thank you for Miss Anne coming to speak to us. And as she said, help us to remain in you. And even though it might be tough this time, with things being different, thank you that you are still the same. You are still there with us. And help us to remain solid in you, that nothing could remove us from you. Thank you so much, Lord, for this time. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
Yay!